Hey YouTube, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be giving two examples of how hyperfixation and thought spirals affect me and other people in the practical situations of getting a medication refill and another instance of when I accidentally angered my postal carrier. But before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. One of my medical providers has a system for getting refills where we're supposed to call about a week before and leave a voice message. I've always just preferred to call and speak to an actual person, and they are so nice and patient with me. Usually the refills get called in pretty quickly. Well, this particular time when I called, they had a message that said, "Please listen closely as our options have changed." Well, change is hard for me as an autistic person. So I listened, and they asked to kindly keep phone calls to making appointments and matters of an urgent nature. And please note medication refills are not an urgent matter. So, okay. I tried leaving a message, giving the information that they asked for, and I tried. I really, really tried. I did. Well, I have autism with a mix of ADHD sprinkled in for flavor. Ow, I'm still waiting for my carpal tunnel surgery. It's about a month out. I thought it was going to be sooner. So I got to thinking after I left the message. Did I leave all the information that they asked for? Or did I forget something? So I called and listened again to the message and realized that I forgot to leave the address to the pharmacy, which the message said would delay the refill. So I had to call and clarify. The person who answered the phone was so nice, and they reassured me that they are there for me and I can call back as many times as I need. She checked the computer and said my pharmacy is on their record, so it's not going to be an issue. I was comforted by that, and I went on with my day. And even though the message said to allow for 3 to 5 days, as I went on with my day, I started to get the thought spirals again, and I started to think that, well, I'm not getting the text message that it's been called in as fast as usual. Uh, and I hyperfixate in these thought spirals, which will not allow me to move on to other things that I need to do in life until I get this done and it's on file. My thought spirals, my mind, my brain just starts thinking. I wonder how often they check the messages. Did I mumble? I have a very, very common name, as there's about 20 people with my same first and last name at virtually every doctor's office I go to. So, did they get the right Michael? Is it a person listening and taking notes, or is it AI or voice to word technology? When I called to clarify, the pharmacy did the when I called to clarify, to the address for the pharmacy, did the computer program see that they opened it up and kick it out into the already read box, and I'm not even on the list anymore, etc., etc., etc. And it's quite distressing to me. So next time I have an appointment, I'm going to ask them to show me exactly how the system works so that I know. I got this idea from watching a YouTube video about playing with horses. The horse handler woman was with her horse and had a plastic grocery bag tied to a long stick. Well, this was new to the horse, so the horse didn't like it as she was playing with it and waving it around. The horse knew she wasn't scared of it, but didn't like being touched with it. She slowly showed the horse that she could wave it around, step on it, play with it, etc., until the horse finally reluctantly went up to the plastic bag and smelled it. When she moved the bag, the horse jumped back quickly, and then she reassured the horse that it was okay and continued to play with the bag. The next step, the horse started to go up to it and kind of, step on it and things like that. And so, sorry, up, ran over my cord over here. And the horse started to play with it, and step on it, and but it was still very reluctant. Um, and over about the next 45 minutes to an hour, she continued to play with the bag, and the horse was more interested in it. And slowly, it started to understand that it was okay, until the horse was fine with being touched with it and rubbed with it, and even started playing with it his or herself. I think that once I understand exactly how it's done and how it works and how often the messages are harvested, I'll be more comfortable and less distressed while waiting semi patiently for my turn in line. And then, once it's called in, I usually go to the pharmacy and just to ask if it's in stock for the day I get my refill. My medical team and all of the staff at the pharmacy know me very well and are very, very patient with me. I actually would call my pharmacy staff friends, quite literally. I appreciate that so much as my thought spirals are quite distressing to me, and I like to know exactly what to expect as an autistic person with ADHD as well. A lot of people in the world can get very annoyed with me, and this is one reason why autism awareness, acceptance, and understanding is so very important. Many people know that autism exists, but we still have a long way to go as far as practical accommodations in life, school, the workplace, etc. I really don't want to bug people, and when I do, it makes me feel really bad. Now, on to the day I pissed off the postal carrier. I really got my feelings hurt as I'm very sensitive about the way that I am spoken to. Well, I've known my postal carrier for over a decade. I've interacted with her and I even give her gift cards as a thank you every Christmas season. This is the first time I've ever had an incident like this or bugged her in any way, shape, or form, at least that I'm aware of. I get a lot of packages as I like to order fun t shirts and other practical items, as well as just stuff that I collect from eBay. Well, my carpal tunnel is very, very severe, and it's just getting worse every day while I'm waiting for the surgery. And there was a package that I needed, and it was too big for our regular mailbox, so the postal carrier placed it into the larger mailbox underneath with the key placed in my regular mailbox. Well, the key sticks in that one, and I saw her delivering the mail on our security cameras, so I went out right after she left to get the package I needed and was expecting. Well, when I went out there, I couldn't even get the key to go into the hole either way, so panicked. I I panicked, and I thought maybe the keys got switched by mistake. This again is the first time that this has ever happened. So, what do? I hopped into my car and zoomed off down the street to catch her. I approached her very respectfully and calmly, explained the situation, and even apologized and added that I really hope I'm not wrong. She replied very crankily, like very cranky, which is out of character for her, with, well, I hope you're not wrong too, man, but I'll go back, while she was like shaking her head. I thanked her, got into my car, and I went home to try it again. Well, lo and behold, I was wrong. And this time the key slid right in and opened the box. I was like, oh, damn. So I got back into my car and zoomed back down the street to tell her before she came all the way back to my house, and I caught her just as she had finished making the U turn. I apologized and I told her I was wrong. It opened. She started flailing her hands around in the air and said, "Really, dude? Damn! I told you." Psh! I apologized again, and I came home shaking. I wrote her a letter the next day. I wrote her a letter that night so that she would get the next day. Explaining that I was autistic and panicked, and I also had severe carpal tunnel syndrome, and I had trouble opening the Autistic, and I just simply panicked. I even graciously thanked her for her patience, even though she wasn't patient. Um, I yeah, I was upset, and I left the letter in the box that I wrote to her right at the front where she could see it, and wrote in big letters, "To postal carrier." Well, she didn't even bother to read it, and the next day it was pushed way to the back of the mailbox. So I guess she was still mad at me. I was shaken up for days by the way she spoke to me. I am gracious, and I understand that we're all going through things in our lives. She's on a tight schedule, probably has a long route, and she might have just been having a bad week. I mean, maybe she had a fender bender. I mean, a million things could have happened. She could have gotten into an argument with somebody she loves. I mean, just, things happen. But I still feel bad, even weeks later. And we've always had positive interactions with each other. And she gets it, like I said, she gets a Christmas gift card every year as a thank you. And this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. So, those are just a couple of practical examples of how my thought spirals and hyperfixations and stuff like that, unable to move on to other things, happen and affect me, and also end up affecting others. This is why autism awareness, acceptance, and understanding is so very important. So I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to me and to get to know some of the stuff that autistic people go through on a day-to-day basis. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Have a great day, people.